GRIS is usually seen as a cute puzzle comfort game, but the meaning behind it is so much deeper than what it appears on the surface. Come with me and let's dive into GRIS. GRIS starts off simple but powerful. A little girl on the palm of a hand statue singing beautifully, but then she appears to choke and lose her voice. That's when the journey starts. You start navigating this world made of color and beautiful orchestra chords which fill you up with intense emotion. From the start I had this feeling that the colors were trying to tell me something but I didn't realize exactly what. Due to the intensity of the reds I was seeing in the first chapter of the game combined with the intense and aggressive melody, and after consulting with a friend he actually told me the colors were based in a specific model called the Kubler-Ross model, and the whole game surrounds it. But for now let's talk about the simplicity of the level design. This is a pretty straightforward title and it's divided into 5 chapters with each chapter containing a different color and different puzzle schemes. It's not a game that holds your hand that much, but it's one that its design makes sure to let you know you don't need that hand holding. You just explore the areas you find in a very linear way, and whenever you find a brick wall, that means you need to explore more. But even then, the level design is so straightforward that it usually shows you one path to the left of the screen and one to the right, so you can eventually find the solution to your brick wall. Since it's a 2D puzzle game, of course. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, especially if you're looking to wind down and have a cozy, beautiful experience. I'm just saying it's simple in its approach. There's nothing wrong with that. This game also has a pretty unique story which follows a small girl with blue colored hair called GRIS on her journey dealing with grief, which is something very apparent through the color scheme and also some slight adjustments to the tone of the chapters as you pass through them. There's 5 stages commonly known to grief, which once again are based in the Kubler-Ross model, and there are also 5 chapters to this game, which I'm sure is no mere coincidence. As you play through the story, you're going to associate these chapters in colors with the individual stages, being those denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And the game does a really good job at making you feel those same stages as you go through them. Being a story about grief and how GRIS deals with it, it also leaves the meaning of the story very open to the perspective and thought of the player on the first layer of the playthrough. But through some hints in the achievement section and some collectibles I found through the playthrough, I discovered that you have 2 endings. One that is very open, which is the one you get if you don't do some of the achievements like collecting all the memories scattered across the multiple chapters, and the one that you get from doing some extra steps, which to be honest I don't know exactly if it's only the mementos or some other achievement in specific that triggers that, because as soon as I learned this I started going for the platinum trophy, so that way I would never miss the true ending. While the true ending really lays it all out for you, I still think I prefer the regular ending, that being just because the normal ending leaves you very open to the interpretation and how you feel about grief, since everyone has their own unique way to deal with it, unlike the true ending which shows the cutscene of GRIS and her mom making memories, and right away I understood that the little girl with blue hair was grieving about what I assumed was the loss of her mom, which after you learn this makes it very straight to the point, even if it's still very deep and sad. Funny enough, I was also getting some people's perspectives across the internet, and I found a Reddit thread where people were speculating whether it was the loss of a daughter and GRIS was the mom or vice versa. So really, even with a true ending explaining almost everything, there's always room for individual interpretation. And I think that's one of the things that makes GRIS so wonderful and such a well-made game in narrative. Even if there's literally no narrative, only wonderful singing. I took around 8 hours to fully beat the game, and GRIS definitely felt like a very personal and individual journey that really made me think about a lot of scenarios and even overthink about so many topics, even intimate ones. I'm sure I still have a lot of symbolism that I didn't catch on my first playthrough, but just to end on a cool note, did you know that even the title GRIS has symbolism in it due to GRIS being gray in Spanish? Did you play GRIS? Did you find some other forms of symbolism in your playthrough? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, till next time gamers.